Welcome to Shifting Views with Willis, with me, Wayne Willis. Today, we are shifting views on transformation, confidence, and creating opportunity from personal experience. My guest today is Oscar Sowden, a personal trainer, DJ, and entrepreneur who's built a fast-growing fitness and wellbeing ecosystem built on authenticity, consistency, and good old-fashioned graft. Oscar's story is about turning setbacks and insecurities into strength, quite literally. From chef to personal trainer, a meal prep business owner and massage therapist and well-being coach, every step of his journey has been built around solving problems that he once faced himself. Today, we're looking at how we turn adversity into opportunity. And this is Shifting Views with Willis. All right, Oscar, welcome to the show.
Thank you, mate. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a nice setup, you know.
Thank you.
When I came in, I was like, look at this.
Yeah.
It's a bit posh, but yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
man.
No, I love it. And I always say to people, don't look behind the camera, only ever see what's on the camera.
Hey, look,
it's
this
chaos
looks
up there.
amazing. That's all you need to see, yeah.
Listen, thanks for coming on the show. I mean, to give some backstory for listeners, I kind of got in touch with you because I was just watching what you was doing. You're a prolific poster on Instagram and social media and stuff like that. But you'd been posting out this stuff of your journey from developing a new PT business, going into personal training, but also all the stuff you was doing in the chef world and your food development. But then there was this kind of wider ecosystem that was emerging where you was kind of really focused on helping people, not just physically in their physical fitness and their appearance, but just in sort of caring about themselves, looking after themselves, having a good, healthy mind, a good, healthy body, eating the right stuff, all of that sort of stuff. But it seemed to be that seemed to be spurred from kind of your background. It's something that you'd been through and you felt that the need to pass it on. Do you remember what the start point was? How this came about?
Yeah, I do. I remember the point that I remember most. I was 16. I'd just finished school. I didn't have a clue, to be honest. I did all right in school. I wasn't exactly clever, but I got enough to sort of do whatever I wanted. Yeah. Didn't really know where to go. And I remember looking on the Indeed jobs board and seeing a chef, apprentice chef. So I thought, you know what? I don't know how to cook. Yeah. So let's give it a try. Got my chef apprenticeship. Absolutely loved it for about a year. And then all of a sudden, maybe this isn't what I want to do. And I stayed stuck for another 3 years, something like that. And by the end of it, I'd gained 11 stone. Gosh. And I thought, this isn't for me, really. Yeah. And then I remember, I'll never forget, it was the 31st of November 2022, where I thought, right, I've had enough of this. I remember I ordered a doner kebab from La Unica, getting a bit of a shout out. And I had it and I thought, that was nice, but I'm sick of this. Yeah. I signed up to Planet Gym, which unfortunately isn't there anymore. Yeah. Just cracked on, basically. And from then on, my mind just shifted straight away.
So it was like, because it's so 31st of December, so it sounds like almost like, you know, that kind of New Year's resolution.
November.
Oh, November, sorry,
so,
November.
Yeah. So it was just before. Yeah.
Right.
Because my original, I'd seen weirdly, a post on Instagram saying, don't wait till New Year, crack on now. Right. And I'd already ordered the takeaway by this point. So I thought, you know what, after this takeaway.
Did you eat the doner kebab?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll never forget the order. I've got a screenshot of it on my phone. It was a doner kebab, cheesy chips, and a 12-inch tomato garlic bread, and that's how you get to 22 stone. Yeah. You don't want that.
And you've got a screenshot of it, and you've got.
I have. I posted it a couple of months ago, and I thought, you know what? It was then when it started.
Do you know what I like about what made me get in contact with you is because, like I say, I've seen like you've been documenting your story on Instagram and whatever, and so I've seen your posts. But you're very open in what you're posting out. You're posting images of yourself from years ago, and like obviously you look great now. But like you're showing that transformation, how you were, what you'd got to, and I suppose this is a way of kind of being quite naked with the honest truth.
Absolutely,
it's sort of saying, look, here's the reality, guys. You know, and I mean, you know, knowing how people feel about themselves, and you're sort of saying, listen, I've been there. Yeah,
well, unfortunately, the fitness industry is a bit of a wash with people saying, oh, I've always like this. Personal trainers usually have always been six-pack abs since I was 12. Yeah. Always been in good nick. And that's why people, A, too scared to go to the gym, B, too scared to speak to a PT because they look at them and they think, why, like you're a 10 stone lighter than me. You're this, because I felt the exact same. Yeah. And when I got there, I'd thought, Jesus, like I was there and now I'm not. And then when I look at people come and speak to me nowadays about it and they're almost scared to come and speak to me. And I was like, I can't believe this is even a thing. But obviously I was there myself, so I do sort of get it. And I show them a photo. They say in the gym, I've got a banner up with my before and my after photo.
Yeah.
And they're coming like, I can't believe this is you. Like, you was in worse sort of state than I was.
Yeah.
And it's weirdly nice to hear that, because then it gives them a bit of confidence to say, if he was there and I'm here, then I can get to even better.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Do you remember like what some of the insecurities were? Like, was it that you just felt you didn't look good? You said you was tired, you was burnt out, you felt, you weren't looking particularly healthy, you was overweight. How did that affect you at that time in your life? Did you feel negative? What was going on at that point to make that change happen?
Yeah, so I was, as a chef, it's about 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
Give or take, chefs will know, 70 hours a week. It was hard work, and I was sort of eating to just cope with it.
Yeah.
I was coming home knackered, stressed. Not really what a 16, 17-year-old should have been feeling, to be honest.
Yeah.
Eating sweets, kebabs, whatever it was, to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
And just insecurity-wise, I was just sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, I still do a lot of cycling now. I did a charity ride the other day.
Yeah.
But I was doing a lot of cycling then. So I was cycling 100 miles even at 20 odd stone.
Yeah.
But I was just so slow.
Yeah.
I was riding with lads 30, 40 years older than me, and I was getting dropped. And me being 16, 17, I thought, something's not right here. I should be at the front. And that, I'll be honest, that turned that into a bit of motivation.
Yeah.
But that was my main insecurity, was I was slow on the bike.
Yeah.
Gonna sound mad, but obviously cyclists wear Lycra.
Yeah.
And that looked like a sack of potatoes in Lycra.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
just the genuine truth.
Yeah.
It looked awful.
Yeah.
I thought, sod this, I'm sick of being fat. I've been fat for enough time now. Let's see where I can go with it.
Yeah. I think the difficulty is as well, because now we are in an age of Instagram, aren't we? And everything looks nice and polished and wonderful online, doesn't it, for so many people? And I think particularly at the age you were then, so you was in your teens or late teens, there's a body confidence thing there, and there's a feeling of it's when you're dating and all of that kind of stuff. So there's a real kind of feeling you want to look good and being confident in yourself as you're sort of growing. And I suppose a lot of young people at that age, at 16, 17, probably are thinking the same thing. They're probably scrolling Instagrams or TikTok or whatever now and looking at that and going, feeling almost ashamed of themselves.
They absolutely are, because I was. And I see it working in a gym, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
There's something in the fitness industry at the minute called physique inflation.
Yeah.
The best way I can look, I saw a TikTok the other day. Or was it in YouTube? Anyways, saw something online, and it was a clip of, was it Tobey Maguire who played Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So his physique in the Spider-Man film,
Yeah.
like, good nick, perfect, healthy, goes to the gym 3 times a week, looks great. Then they'll show like Spider-Man nowadays, and like he's got 2 extra abs, he's 3 inches taller, he looks 10 times better. And if you look, it's a what do you call it? It's a pattern. Yeah. Everywhere in the world online, physique inflation is a real thing. So what was once considered, say like, oh, you look great, is now considered, you look crap.
Yeah.
And it's affecting everyone. Like, there's lads at my gym with biceps bigger than my head, which is quite hard.
Yeah.
And they are massive. They're huge. And they think they look awful because they're seeing, say, other influencers that are lying about taking steroids. That's another big thing, which is a massive issue. Lying about taking steroids, lying about what they're doing, and they just don't think they look very good. It's a massive issue, especially in young lads as well.
Yeah. And I suppose there's a connection there too. I mean, because that physical, I guess, insecurity has a mental impact, doesn't it? Because how they feel, how they behave, their outlook on life.
I was the same. I didn't take opportunities. Like, I remember I could have gone on holiday with my first lad's holiday to Tenerife when I was 18, and I didn't because I'd look like a bag of crap in a pair of shorts. Yeah. So I didn't go.
But it's so raw, though, for you saying that, because so many kids, like, at that age will be thinking that. They'll be thinking about this sort of stuff. But what's cool about it is you've essentially taken this opportunity or taken that adversity, if you like, and you've turned it into opportunity. And that's what I find really interesting about this. And I guess a message for people listening to this is to say, look, you can panic about where you're at now, or you can use it as a platform.
Exactly.
To do something with it. And that's kind of what you've tried to do, right?
I've tried my best to do that. I mean, I remember I took every single negative from that point on, and I thought, right, there's got to be a silver lining in all this. I remember my biggest silver lining, even though I was 22 stone, very, very overweight, very unhealthy, there's a massive thing of when you start losing weight, it's the easiest point in your life to lose weight. Because I was saying, I don't know at the time, about 3,800 calories a day. I was usually eating per day to maintain, probably more. I don't know the exact numbers. But even if I was just to cut 500 calories a day, that works out to a lot of fat loss. I mean, it's 3,500 calories per pound of fat on your body.
Yeah.
And if you times that by however how many days, 500 calories a day, that's a pound of fat gone really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Especially at the start. That's what makes it so easy, because you can just cut your calories by 500. And that's 3,300 calories a day for me. That's my bulking now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just so easy at the start to cut it. I just sort of switched me being so heavy into a silver lining, going, right, let's sort this, cut the 500, because it's going to be easy. And then silver lining worked, and then all of a sudden, I sort of blinked and a stone had gone in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, and this is really just through, I mean, you said talk about cutting calories, but you talk about you started training.
Yes.
You started going to the gym. I mean, at that stage, when you first started doing that, was this all quite new to you? Was you frightened of the gym? You know, what was the experience of kind of doing that?
Honest opinion, terrified.
Yeah.
Because I went to Planet Gym, as I mentioned before. It was a dark, dingy 24-hour gym. I loved the place with all my heart because it's made me where I am now.
Yeah.
But it was a scary place. Lots of steroid users, lots of needles on the floor. It was a nasty place to go.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who is low on confidence like myself. To go at 2 a.m. and train, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Them first couple of months, shaking with fear, just leaving. Even if someone would look at me, I used to leave.
Yeah.
Because I was that scared.
Yeah.
It just wasn't nice.
And that confidence piece is quite interesting as well, because now you're obviously very confident. You're posting, you're prolific online, your face is everywhere. So you've obviously developed this confidence as part of your transformation. So you've got this physical transformation, but you've obviously developed this like mental transformation and this output thing. And I guess this is part of what you're trying to impart on your clients.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've always had a saying, I can't remember if Alex Hormozy or James Smith, one of the two. I've heard it through one of their podcasts, obviously. And he said, confidence isn't shouting in the mirror and saying, I can do this. It's an undeniable stack of proof. It's sort of like, imagine if I was to get paint on here and paint a layer every day, all of a sudden, you're sort of building a stack of proof. You're building your mountain almost.
Yeah,
that was exactly what happened with me.
Yeah, yeah.
It took about 3 years, I'd say, of constantly, every day, just getting myself in front of a camera, not eating the Ben and Jerry's, going for that walk, training, taking the dog for a walk, whatever it may be. Something every single day. It's the same with compound interest or with a bank. It's just the same thing. Again, every single day, it just all added up and it's brought me to where I am now.
Yeah. No, and there's something about that. I find, I mean, the fitness industry as a whole, particularly in the world of like online content and social media, it's massively confusing for most people. It can be because there's just so much stuff out there, whether you're trying to figure out your diet, what sets you're supposed to be doing at the gym, what you should be lifting, should you be compound, all of this stuff. And you can see why people get confused by it, because they're trying to do everything, because they're listening to everybody, you know, and they're trying to kind of piece together this thing. But I guess what you're trying to do is really simplify this process. And I've seen on a few of your social posts where you sort of say it's really not complicated. It's made complicated, but actually it's more to do with consistency.
I'm really, really glad it comes across that way, to be honest. So thank you for that. Yeah. It comes across in that way as so hard for it's done on purpose, mate. So the fitness industry is full of people trying to sell you £99 plan. Join my coaching course. Don't need it, because they're posting reels about, say, one day they'll say a reel saying, got to eat this is the way forward. Then the next reel will be, this isn't great now it's this and now it's this, and they're constantly diverting attention. And then you'll notice in about 4 posts, they'll do 4 posts confusing people. The 5th post will be, but it's all easy if you join my plan.
Yeah.
It always is. It's always a PT or it's always someone in the fitness industry doing this. I don't want to vilify my own industry.
Yeah.
But that's just unfortunately the way it is at the minute.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been really, really taking advantage of people. So I like to come up to people and my new clients and say, look, this is it. This is the principle of calorie deficit, the way of losing weight. This is how you do it. It's always going to be the same no matter what.
Yeah.
Obviously, some parts of it will change, but the initial block, that's never going to change. This is how you do it. I sort of see it as like I'm sort of seeing myself as a driving instructor in that way. I have people on for 3 months or 4 months or whatever it is, however long they want to stay. And when I'm gone, they should be able to drive without me.
Yeah. No, that's a really good analogy. Okay, so switching into kind of what you're doing now then with the business, I found this really interesting because it's like you've connected this ecosystem of products and services, which naturally, in hindsight, you look back at it and you say, well, of course, those things all fit together perfectly. Nutrition, fitness, wellness, the massage stuff, everything connects in that kind of ecosystem. But is this like something you've kind of done accidentally? Was it thought through, or is this something you've just kind of started bolting things onto as you've gone? You know, what's the driver here?
A little bit of everything you've said,
Yeah.
to be honest. The meal prep side of things, that's been scratching the back of my mind since I left cooking.
Right.
'Cause I've always missed doing a little bit. Doing a little bit of proper professional cooking is amazing.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing 70 hours a week that's when it becomes a bit tricky.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to launch my own food business from the second I set foot in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I sort of noticed a bit of a gap in the market, especially in the local area.
Yeah.
There just doesn't seem to be many high quality sort of gym meals.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, we'll give it a try. Did the trial week. Anyways, 210 people signed up. And then since then on, I've been averaging, it's been between 180 and 210 meals a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which has been really interesting.
Yeah.
So that thing was always ingrained deep in me.
Yeah.
Massage, the honest thing for me becoming a sports masseuse, I'm getting my degree in a couple of days actually.
Yeah.
When I bought my PT qualification, basically the way it works, you pay $2,000 to insert course provider.
Yeah.
And you'll get your level 2 gym instructing.
Yeah.
Level 3 PT.
Yeah.
And then you can pick like something else. I picked nutrition.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is that I already had this nutrition qualification from being a chef.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I rung up and I was like, is there anything else you can offer me? I've already got it. And they said, if you send us over £800, we can make you a sports masseuse. So I thought, sod it. Why not?
Yeah.
So I did all the work. I've done first couple of practicals. I've practiced on a couple of clients and stuff.
Yeah.
I've had a couple already. I'm picking up my degree in a couple of days.
It's amazing. Like, because I mean, so like it's almost by accident, some of that, isn't it?
That one was
But
definitely by accident.
But the obvious connections in the ecosystem sort of, naturally you're using your talents because you've spent all this time training as a chef. You've worked in the industry. You said it burnt you out, but obviously off the back of that, you've gained all of this experience of being a commercial chef, cooking. So that's an ingredient to your bow, if you like, a string to your bow. So you think, okay, how can I leverage that? Then you've got this other side to you, which is saying, okay, I wasn't happy with the way I looked. I didn't feel good about myself. I was crap on the bike, all that kind of stuff. I needed to change it. So you kind of done that stuff. So then that becomes a thing of achievements. That's another ingredient.
Yep.
And then it sounds like you've kind of just been stacking these things together. And each time something comes along, you're going, well, I'll have that as well. Thank you. Because, they sort of connect.
Pretty much. I've only ever done anything that made sense to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into, say, sitting or working in an office or working on a site or whatever, because that didn't make sense to me and I wouldn't have been happy.
Yeah.
Even when I was over, I was still making choices. I was like, right, does this make sense to me? A, yes, let's do it. B, no, then I won't go near it.
Yeah.
That's always how I look at things.
Yeah. So how have your mindset shifted over, like, since you started kind of the journey, the entrepreneurship? How have you developed, do you think, personally?
So I used to work the long hours and hated it.
Yeah.
And that was all, I realised that was all up here.
Yeah.
As much I had to do them, but I didn't want to. Whereas now I've got to do them and I want to. It's been a bit of a, have you heard of Stephen Bartlett before?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a very, very good insight saying it's not about the photo, it's the frame that it's in.
Right.
I've just changed the frame basically, saying, as much as I might be tired and I might have only slept 4 hours last night, if I do this, then this A will happen, then B will happen, then C will happen. And then in the long run, I might be able to buy myself a new bike, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I might be able to help more people out. There's a complete whole host of things that I can do.
Yeah, yeah.
From just getting up every morning, cracking on.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a real balance to what you're doing as well, because I said in the introduction that you do a lot of DJing. You're always posting about your DJ stuff, and you're always either in a club DJing or you're working on sounds or doing something and whatever. And there's loads of clips of you doing that. Is that kind of your balance? Is that like a bit like cycling? Is it like your yin yang sort of thing? Your outlet.
Yeah. So I started a while ago. My dad bought my first set of decks when I was 10. And I can't remember what it was. I remember listening to the 4 Music channel when I was really young and thinking, I like Avicii. Yeah. Avicii was my first ever favourite DJ. Right. And I was like, well, how does he make it? How does he do it? And I saw he had these decks and these were like these magical things for me. And then I begged and begged for about 4 years and I finally was allowed some when I turned 10. And then I just started learning. I've been on and off learning for about 10 years. And then I just thought, and I was like, I've got decks. I like doing this. And then I started going to, say, parties and raves and whatnot. And then I thought, I'm getting some sort of release from this from my work. I'm enjoying, I'm not thinking about work. And then me being mate, I ended up operationalizing it and then making it a business.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100% it is a release for me.
How does that
100%.
release compare to, say, the release of having a really good gym sesh or something like that? Like,
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm sure you've heard of dopamine in your brain. It's the exact same release I get.
yeah,
So say obviously you do a lot of training yourself, or like if you go walk the dog or whatever,
Yeah,
you'll still get the same feel good hormone.
yeah,
I just get the same amount of it whether I'm training, cycling, eating something well, going for a walk, or DJing.
yeah.
And it's the same for everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
So say if someone enjoys, I don't know, got your iPad there. Say if you enjoy playing, I don't know, Flappy Bird or whatever, you'll probably also get that from the things like deep down in us, we've got dopamine pathways built in. So every single person, whether they like it or not, does like going for a walk. It's literally ingrained in you from the years of human nature after foraging and stuff.
Yeah.
You'll get the same reward. It just takes slightly more delayed.
Yeah, I think what the thing is we're in a world now, because we're in a tech world, we're in a social world, we're in a digital world, whatever. I always look at these things like it's quick, like hits of sugar. So like the dopamine you get from scrolling on, say, on TikTok or something like that, it's sugar hits, isn't it? It's like
exactly what it is.
And I think and it's easy to get. It's like because it's there. It's at your hands. And going out for a walk, that's an action, right? That's an action you have. You have to put your shoes on. You have to be dressed or whatever. You have to go out the door. You have to it's a thing you have to do. So how do you change that mindset a little bit? Because you say it's ingrained in us, and people should be moving more. They should be exercising. Actually, they would enjoy it if they actually did it. What's the barrier? How do you get them from I'm not motivated to do this to all right, let's give it a go? That
is a brilliant question, to be honest. And the barrier is what's in front of you. It's the people going for motivation straight away. But I think it's Jocko. You ever heard of Jocko Willink?
No.
He's someone who says discipline eats motivation for breakfast. And I don't want to be one of these hustle bros, Andrew, to look at me. But it's so true. Like it's like you said, it's like cheap. It's like sugar. It's cheap dopamine. It's so easy for me to lay back on this couch like this on my phone, TikTok for 9 hours.
Yeah.
But afterwards, deep down, what would you feel?
Yeah.
What would you feel if you were sat laid here watching TikTok for 9 hours?
Yeah. Well, you feel exhausted, don't you?
You'd enjoy it while you were doing it, but afterwards you'd think.
I wonder if you do enjoy it. Here's the thing. This is what I find, because I'm as guilty as the next person. There's been many times I've gone to bed and just been scrolling on my phone, doom scrolling.
For argument's sake,
yeah,
me too. I am awful at it. But I sit in bed and just Instagram.
But that because we accept that we're in that world and we're all guilty of it. So this isn't like to try and demonize it, because I'm as guilty as the next person for doom scrolling. But you know, to your point of enjoying it, I do wonder if that's the case, because I think, you know, you get the sugar hit, if you like, to use that analogy. So you maybe do it for 2 or 3 minutes and you'll doom scroll, and maybe if there's something interesting, but actually it just becomes a habit for me almost. So actually, I'm not really enjoying it now. What I'm doing is I'm bored. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly it. Everything's a habit.
Yeah.
That's another part I was going to get onto, to be honest. So, as you mentioned before, going back up to the part of would you rather say sit on here, scroll for 9 hours, or what does it take to break the barrier to go for the walk?
Yeah.
What I would say to people to make this first step, it's going to sound really counterintuitive, but it's exactly what I did. When I decided, I saw that Instagram post saying, do it now. I still had the takeaway ordered. And the reason I still ate that kebab is because I wanted to know what I felt like afterwards. And deep down, I felt awful. Because I thought, again, it's happened again. Yeah. I'm going to wake up in the morning, bloated, tired.
Yeah.
And that feeling that I got of, I know what's going to happen in the morning now, was right, let's try not do that again.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the book Atomic Habits by James Smith?
No, but I know the book.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about 30 days to build a new habit for life.
Yeah.
I'm a massive believer in motivation needs to carry you through the first 3 to 5 days of anything. Because I found people after 3 to 5 training sessions or 3 to 5 days, that's when the motivation wears off. So people are on the diet for 5 days, they're brilliant, they're probably stoned down if they're doing it that sort of way. And then they'll go, but it's 2 for Tuesdays at Domino's.
Yeah.
And that's when the motivation that you should have, that's why I like to get people fast results as well. In the first 5 days, if they've seen the scale go down a bit, then that might extend that motivation. Just 2 more days for that little bit of discipline, just to say no. And every time you say no, it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So if I didn't want this drink, I know it's water, so it's very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But if I said no, 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 no. Every time you say no, it becomes so much easier to say no again
Yeah.
and again and again.
Yeah.
Again, like a snowball downhill. Starts this big, and before you know it, it's the size of this room.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get that. I totally agree. And as you were speaking, I was trying to think of the name, and apologies to the guest. I had a guest on my show a few months ago now, and essentially the conversation was all about habits, forming good habits, and that's what we talked about.
It's all habits.
And he was sort of saying, why it's important, and everything you've just said, absolutely. But some of the examples he was giving, he was saying, like, if you was doing push-ups, you wanted to work out. He said, if you set a goal of doing 1,000 push-ups tomorrow, the chances are you're not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
But if you did one push-up, just did one, and then the next day you did two, and the next day you did three, you find that slowly you were developing the habit of, this is the thing that I do, and you just keep adding a bit.
This is
and it's consistency.
Exactly what I do with my coaching clients.
Yeah.
Obviously, after the first consultation, you'll get them in, and if I've got a man going to go do Mr. Olympia next year, then he's going to get a battering, and he's going to go in the deep end because I know he can handle it.
Yeah.
But if this is someone brand new that's never lifted a weight before, I always make the first step so unbelievably small, it's impossible not to do. I'd much rather them go from here to here than from here to here, because in the end it'll go, and then before you know it, they've gone so much past that. Because the hare always loses, the tortoise always wins.
But we know this, don't we? We know this from history. I mean, removing it from fitness or whatever. Everything done in milestones. There's 1,000 cliches about small steps and all that kind of stuff. We know that this is the way that things work. That's where the hare and the tortoise kind of fable comes from. It's that process of, just bit by bit, work through it. Don't try and run ahead, because the chances are you're going to hit a wall. Do you know what I mean? Or you're going to just get tired of it, or you're going to say, I don't like it, or whatever.
That's right. And this is where the full TikTok thing also comes into it.
Yeah.
Because what are we now? We're hares,
Yeah.
constantly scrolling. But then if we turn it off and then maybe go on it once or twice a day, then you'll realise you become a bit more of a tortoise. I always tell my clients, be a tortoise. Don't listen to the people. I mean, I had one lady, bless her. She had quite a lot of weight to lose. She's lost it all now. But she had her friends sort of demonising her at the start, saying, you're only losing £1 a week. You've got so much X amount to lose. I said, right, just ignore him, give it time and watch what happens. And then all the people that ended up not being the nicest to her, in the end were like, oh, wow, how did you do it? And she'd turn around and she'd go, exact things you were really, really winding me up about. It's mental. It's insane.
What is it then that what keeps you driving now then? Because like from what I've seen, like you've kind of gone over the wall in that you've gone from like, okay, I wasn't particularly happy. Now I've got myself into a great position. I look good. I feel good. I'm learning stuff. I've developed my business. Then you've started growing your business. You've now got quite a good following. So it all looks great from the outside watching that. What keeps it moving for you? What is it that keeps you going?
It all stems from, after losing all the weight, it was pure motivation for the first 2 weeks, then it turned into discipline. Yeah. But as I'd lost the weight, in all honesty, fear. Yeah. I was terrified of getting back to 22 stone because I know how much my life changed, dropping, half in my body weight, basically.
Yeah.
I was so scared about going back there because I knew if I got back there, I wouldn't come back down.
Right.
So it was fear for about a year, to be honest. Just constantly running away from it. And then I realised, do you know what? Maybe I'm all right. Maybe I don't need to be afraid of it because I've done it now. I just cracked on. My mind shifted overnight. I've got a weird way that not a lot of people can, and I do appreciate that. But I can just go and just change something straight away. And it really shifted from fear to, right, let's try and maintain it. Let's try and stay stood still instead of running away from something. And me sort of standing still and realising, right, this is where we are now. Let's go. I wanted to maintain that. And then I sort of had to realise, all right, I can maintain my weight now. How about let's try and take one step forward and open a business? And then all of a sudden I fell in love with, not sort of running away, but the forever progress. Like every day I'm trying to wake up thinking, right, what can I do something today that's going to either benefit me, my business, my mates, my family, my pockets sometimes, to be honest, or my clients. There's so many things that I can...
Yeah, I was just saying on just before you came on, I was filming a pod with somebody else, a 2-podder today.
Busy man.
It's busy man, yeah. And we was talking about stuff, but one of the things that came out is I said to him, I always say that there's opportunity in adversity. Whenever there's a problem, actually, there's a mindset shift. You can either see it as a problem and kind of be hit by that problem, be kind of punched down by it almost, or you can look for the opportunity off the back of it. It's like a ledge that you can use and say, okay, if this is the situation, how can I use it to my advantage?
Absolutely.
And that's what I think it's really interesting about your story. I quite like, and because you documented it so well, but you documented it with such authenticity is what I like about it. It's what made me reach out, because it wasn't, you don't come across as a PT in it. I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean,
I get exactly what you mean.
You come across as just
and PTs know what I'm on about.
Yeah, you just come across.
You know what you like.
Yeah, you just come across as a guy who just like did this thing and went, I'm just going to keep doing this thing, and then you start building it and building it. I was, God, it's so impressive to watch.
Thank you.
But
It's nice to hear, mate.
what I liked about the is that you've taken something and used it as an opportunity. So you've kind of learned from a situation, you've improved yourself, but then said, hang on, I can do something with this. And then you've kind of built this ecosystem around it, this business, which I've no doubt will continue to evolve, and I have no idea tomorrow what it'll be. You'll no doubt think
Neither
of
do
something.
I, mate. We'll see.
but that's what's interesting about it. And what I think it'd be good for listeners, particularly those that are around your age, that are in the young years and figuring out their careers, is, what do they do? What do they do? How do they action what they're inspired by? Because when you talk about PTs and scrolling on TikTok and stuff like that, there is inspiration in that. You've quoted in this podcast several kind of business moguls who you listen to, and they've inspired you, and that's great. But where's the action? I always think people say, okay, but what do I do? But
That's so
what
true.
do I do?
That's so true.
Yeah.
And I fell into the exact same trap. Listening to, I don't know, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are promoting this, that.
Yeah.
Like, it's all well and good. Like, it's like if I give you a credit card of £1 million on it,
Yeah.
and you're not allowed to use contactless, and you don't know the PIN. What use is that to you?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm all about action. The way I always think, just take, like I said earlier on, make the first step so small that you can't say no, and make the next one still so small, but a little bit bigger so you can still do it.
Yeah.
And then every day, step, along with a good amount of research as well. I've, like, for losing weight, every night I was watching about 3 hours of YouTube videos on what's a calorie, how a calorie is measured, what happens if I do this, what happens if I don't do this, and what do I need to do.
Yeah.
And still, even though I calculated about 10,000 hours just over of YouTube videos on fat loss and everything, and I still made mistakes, dangerous mistakes.
Because I think what's interesting about it is, like, in your case, so you identified what your problem was. So for you were saying you wanted to lose weight. That was a problem, and you was burnt out with your job. So that was another problem. So there were two clear changes you wanted to make. I want to get fit, and I want to find something else to do.
Yep.
So that's kind of step one. I'm just thinking, if people were listening, and let's say their issue wasn't particularly like fitness, maybe they do look good or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, maybe their issue is that they just feel they don't know what they're doing with their life. They're in a crap job. They don't like doing things. They're inspired. They want to do something else. I suppose stage one is finding, what do you want? What makes you happy, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to sort of operationalise, whether it's you're sick of being fat, you hate your job, or you hate, I don't know, there's so many things you hear as a PT that think people hate and that it ruins their life.
Yeah.
I always say, listen to what's going on inside your own head. Say it out loud. And even if you have to, I've looked in a mirror before just before I decided to lose weight, said it out loud. And I listened to it and I think, if that was my best friend speaking to me like that, what comes out of my mouth to him? And I listen to that usually. And if you're a nice person,
and
if you want the
that's
best,
how good your friend is.
well, yeah, exactly. If you want the best for yourself,
Yeah.
what comes out your mouth is usually the best advice for you, because no one knows yourself, no one knows your habits, no one knows anything what goes on in your life better than you.
I think what's interesting about that as well is often you already know the answer to the question, but you're denying it yourself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, when I first started, it was a slow first couple of months in business.
Yeah.
Could barely make my gym rent. I was borrowing money for gym rent. It was nasty.
Yeah.
But I kept putting off Instagram. I was like, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I'll start when it's not raining outside. I'll start when I've not got this cold. Kept giving myself excuses. And I spoke to myself in the mirror and I was like, I can't afford my gym rent. It's in 10 days' time. What could I do? And the word social media came off and I thought, you know what? Sod it. Let's make one. And the first one was god awful. If you look on my Instagram, it's all still there.
Yeah.
It's god awful, but I like to keep it there because people come and say, "Oh, how do you speak to a camera? How do you do this? How do you do that?" And I just go scroll all the way to the bottom of my reels and see me stuttering like an absolute bumbling mess to my iPhone 13 mini in the spare room at the gym.
Yeah. No, but that's good, because that's interesting. That almost that just do it, to take the Nike line, But what's really interesting about that as well is when I'm speaking to people about being confident or like say coming on a podcast, people are frightened of cameras and things like that. You get it all the time. But I always say to them, like, nobody cares. This is something you really need to recognize.
Big thing.
Realistically,
Massive.
I don't know how else to say it. Nobody cares and until they care, you know, and the only time they actually turn out they care is when you're successful. You've kind of achieved that. Like, you're just noise. So just put it out.
It's all noise.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when people are so nervous to start the gym or to go for a run or whatever. The same lady that I had who had loads of grief, God bless her. She was rich. She was always terrified of what other people thought in the gym.
Yeah.
And I said to her, right, watch this. I came in the next day with a shirt and it had like a pig on it or something. It was a real stupid meme shirt.
Yeah.
And I said, just don't worry. I'm going to PT you in this shirt, not the usual one.
Yeah.
And she went, at the end of it, she forgot I had it on. And I said at the end, did one person give me a funny look? Did one person say a thing to me? She went, no. I said, yeah. I said, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one, people look at you and go, and walk off.
Yeah.
That is genuinely it.
There's something interesting about the gym as well. And what you touched upon something really interesting there in terms of the intimidation of the gym. A lot of people are intimidated by the gym. And I think when I first went into like the weights area of a gym, when I first started going, I walked in, I was like, I have no idea where I'm going to start here, you know? And to your point, it was just a case of pick something up and lift it and then we'll figure it out, you know? But, I think you're right. I think unless you go to, there probably are select gyms in the country where it's a little bit kind of bro-y and a little bit whatever. But for the most part, if you go to a commercial gym, they're actually, genuinely, everybody's so tuned out. They're so focused on themselves that nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares whether you can lift it or you can't lift it. Nobody's even engaged in what you're doing. I think you've got to get that reassurance out of you. You know that.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not as scary as you might think.
Oh, absolutely. I always say, when you go to the gym, you walk in and you see, it's usually the same people on the desk. I mean, a lot of time at our gym, I do a lot of work at the front desk. Say I'll cover for one of the lads if they're going to the toilet or whatever. And I'll say, oh, hiya or whatever. And I know the name, but I forget that I've seen them 30 seconds later when the next person walks in.
Yeah.
And that's just the cold truth of it.
Yeah.
People have got such short memories because they're so self-absorbed, and rightly so. People have got so much crap going on in their life nowadays. Nothing's easy now.
Yeah.
And the last thing they're going to waste their quite valuable brain power on when TikTok's not using it is to think about this person that couldn't lift a 20-kilo dumbbell.
Yeah.
And it's so present on people's minds when it's new, and I get it, because it's a new environment. You think you've got a t-shirt on saying I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing. And you really haven't.
Yeah.
You really haven't.
You mentioned earlier on about the... You've either loved cycling and you document that quite a lot.
Yep.
I've seen some of your videos and things of cycling. You've done some epic rides. You have done some epic rides. If you ever look at his Instagram, there's one, I still remember the picture of you lying in the back of an ambulance, kind of exhausted. Where was that ride from? It was from, that wasn't the Severn Bridge ride.
It was Brighton to Hull. In 16 hours, one of the two.
How many miles is that?
200 and just under 250 or just over.
Wow.
That was a weird one, that.
Yeah.
It was started off as a dare. I'll be truly honest, it was a dare. My mate said, what's as long as you could go in a day? I said, well, I've done London before, and Brighton's only 100k more than London, which is still, even me as ex-22 stone, me saying it's only 100k more than London still amazes me.
Yeah.
I was like, I reckon I could do 250 mile. And he went, go on then. So I thought, sorry, I may as well do it for charity. Set up the charity page. And I told him, I remember ringing my dad, I was like, oh, Dad, I'm going to bike to Brighton and back. Well, not to back, sorry. Can you be the support guy for Brighton to Hull? And he went, yeah. Didn't think I must have thought I was talking at my ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then showed up on Brighton seafront, midnight, freezing. And I thought, oh.
What have I let myself
the sea,
for?
I can, if I looked that way, I could probably see another country. Like, I am at the bottom of England.
Yeah.
And I live in Yorkshire. I live in the north of England. Now I've got to get home on this 2 wheels.
Yeah.
That was,
It's incredible because I saw, at what time did you do it in?
I was having 12 or 16 hours.
Yeah.
16. It was 16 hours.
But then obviously that took a toll physically, and you was a bit exhausted when you got back, and it didn't work out great. I mean, it's worked out great now, but at the time it wasn't.
It was touch and go.
Yeah.
I ate 19,000 calories. I tracked it and it worked out right. If I'm burning, because I burnt 12,000 calories doing the ride. So I thought, right, a 7,000 calorie buffer is going to be plenty.
Yeah.
And I remember I got home, I had a bite of a Mars bar because I was that tired, and the Mars bar spiked. Obviously spiked me insulin, spiked my sugar. I thought, oh, I remember saying, Mum, I don't feel right here. And I went, ooh, sat on the stairs,
Gone.
conked out.
Yeah.
And then I woke up again. I went, my mum was like slapping me. She's like, come on, like you're passing out, don't go again. And I went again.
It's incredible.
And then sat down, and then the ambulance came, checked on my vitals, and was like, yeah, you're just knackered.
Yeah.
You're completely knackered. Put me in the back of the ambulance. And then I slept for 19 hours, and then I went to Leeds Fest.
Nice, nice. That's how you celebrate a ride like that. And
Exactly.
you did a recent one as well, didn't you? Did you do like Severn Bridge to Humber Bridge or something like that? Did I see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did that for Sailors Children's Society
Yeah.
with a big group of riders. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my bike gave way. I had about an eighth of the ride left. I'd already done 210 miles by this point. I looked back and my 3 spokes had snapped. I got on the phone to the mechanic. I was like, right, can you do this? Can you do that? So now your race is run, mate.
Yeah.
So next year we're going back to do that.
Yeah.
But that was amazing. It was, I still remember we stayed at a massive hotel in the Midlands.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, that was all right because it was split over 2 days, this one.
Yeah.
So it was 110 the first day, and it would have been 130 the second day, but obviously it was only 110.
Yeah.
Still quite hard, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it was.
But
good fun.
I suppose my point is it's like this other outlet because again, there's something what's interesting about building a business is because when you are the business, if you're the trainer, you're the chef, you're the face of it. You present everything as you, so it's like what you're doing. So you're documenting when you're DJing, you're documenting when you're at the gym, you're documenting when you're cycling, but you're also just kind of documenting life and nights out and whatever.
Pretty much.
And there's this kind of it doesn't almost feel like it doesn't feel business. Do you know what I mean? It feels personal in that sort of sense.
I'm glad.
But is that? Do you think that's what the engagement is about? Do you think that's why people are just connecting with you so much versus, say, the fear of connecting with the PT, like on a commercial level? There's something sort of, it's a personable thing.
People are sick to death of pretending to be, like, oh, it's a full corporate thing, coming into work in a suit, replying to emails, yes, regards, whatever. People are sick to death of it, especially in the gym, in the fitness industry. We serve people outside of work. So the last thing I want to be to someone who's already working 12 hours a day in an office is to be another office client. If I start messaging saying, oh, thanks for coming to session today, Jamie. Please see my attached invoice of £125 or so on and so forth. Regards, Oscar. He sees that all day. He's going to get bored of that. Whereas if I message him saying, you got a session tomorrow, maybe get your ass in. Obviously, it depends on the type of person. But a lot of people just want honest, raw, because they're sick of stuff being sugar-coated, given to them and almost corporalized, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. All right, so I'm just thinking of value points then. So people listening, you've done it, you've taken the journey, you now help other people do this. If people are really thinking about just trying to change their personal appearance, they're trying to get a bit fitter, maybe they're not trying to be anything brilliant, they just want to be better, they want to feel better. What's the first start? What do they need to do?
So I'd recommend it. This is the way I did it, and I lost 11 stone doing this. It's completely free. Google BMR calculator, put your height, your gender, your age, and your weight in, and that will tell you your calories. So that you say, if I did it with you, I can imagine it's about 2,600. And for people, I always subtract 500 calories to start with. I don't ever want to put someone that deep in the deep end of dieting where they're that hungry. A 500 calorie reduction, you'll notice it, but you'll still crack on with it. And that's operationalizing. That is the first way to lose weight. You'll find your maintenance calories, cut below, and then all of a sudden, weight slowly drips off. That's the way I found. That's the most operational way. Advice I can give to anyone.
And then what about in terms of the physical sense? So, just be walking more. Actually, do you need to go to the gym? Do you need to just do a bit of resistance training? Like, what is the? All exercise is good, right? I would say
Any
on
exercise
the whole, but like there's this balance between. There's a lot of confusion. I know I've been through this, and I still go through it daily. So is the age-old balance between should you cut more, should you eat more, should you bulk? Are you trying to build muscle? Are you trying to lose fat? What if you're a little bit in between? What if it's a bit skinny fat? All of these words and terminologies that come out. It's so confusing.
There's a lot of nuance.
It's so confusing. And people often just don't know which one to do. So they end up in a yo-yo situation because they're going, well, which one do I do here? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like how do you, obviously you can appoint someone like you who can take them through that journey, but just on a general level, what do people need to do?
As a sort of blanket bit of advice, listen to yourself again.
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror and say, where do I want to be? Am I happy where I am now? Would I rather have a bigger bicep or would I rather be slimmer? And once you know what you want, don't listen to see stuff you see on Instagram. Yeah, you'll see Sam Sulek with his 13 arms winning Mr. Olympia. Brilliant. Nah, you need to listen to yourself. I mean, people say you're a PT and you're not built like a bodybuilder. Right, I'm a cyclist.
Yeah.
You've got to work out what you want to do. And once you know where to go, honestly, the best way nowadays, AI, you can either appoint someone like me and I can sit and almost give you a bit of a beating if you don't listen.
Yeah.
But the information's out there now. The AIs all over the world can say, if you want to give it a brief explanation, if you don't want to hire a PT or you can't afford a PT, then I used AI. Or I just did the research myself because I couldn't afford a PT at the start. It's all there. All the information is out there. You've just got to, especially someone, you read the term, like obviously agency, low agency, high agency. I've always been quite a high agency person. I understand that's very easy for me to say. But even if you're low agency, get on YouTube, or even if you love your TikTok for 9 hours in bed, sometimes like I do, just have a search. I want to look like so-and-so. I want to cut. I want to bulk. And the advice is all there because it's so nuanced. It would be here for 6 hours to go into it all.
No, I totally get that. So what does the future look like then? So where are you going from now? How long's your business? I mean, your business hasn't even really been going that long, is it? What, 2 years?
Last
a year?
December.
The speed of that growth. Are
December.
you shocked by the growth of it? Because it's quick, right?
No, because I went from 0 to quite a lot. 0 to 100 really quickly. And since then, it's not slowed down. So I've not really had time for it to scale back and to watch it yet. And I'm sure I will at some point. I'm sure it will slow down at some point soon. And I'm weirdly looking forward to it because I can look back and think, wow, in a year or so, I've done this. But at the minute, it's just in the weeds, in the trenches, cracking on.
But it shows that it's possible, right?
Anyone can do this. If I can do it, I mean, what are we on? What's the date today? It's
Depends when this goes out.
When this goes out, I think it's October. It's early October today.
October.
Flashback even 3 years. I was still really overweight, still in a job I hated. I remember I got on your Snapchat memories, it came up, it's Hull Fair for people from Hull around this time of year. And I got a memory of me at 22 stone at Hull Fair with my mates, and I wasn't happy. And if I can do all this in 3 years as someone who got C's in school, I've got a culinary arts degree, but I've just sort of fell into it all, to be honest, early days. And then I realised I can't keep tripping and falling into good luck. So maybe let's crack on with this now.
I mean, I'm just thinking about, because in terms of a tangible takeaway, what I really like, and I touched upon this earlier on, but there's something about recognizing your strengths, what you do have, and how you can utilize them. So you recognize whatever the problem is. So the problem is, maybe it could be something to do with personal appearance, or it could be to do with your career or your love life, or whatever the problem is, your thing. But then you've got it's kind of like, what have I got? So what am I able to do? What do I already have? And everybody has something.
So important. It's so important.
And then how do you use one to feed the other? Because that's what you've done. You've built this successful business, built this whole new lifestyle, this mindset, this whole thing you've built, and it's continuing to grow. But essentially all you've done is you've recognized, I'm not happy in this situation, and this is what I've got available to me. How do I use that to feed that? That's
so important. Like. It's so important. Look at yourself in the mirror, be plain and honest with yourself. What makes you happy? I mean, I had this conversation with my friend a couple of years ago, and the only thing on earth that made him happy was playing FIFA. And do you know what? It's easy to laugh at him, but now he's on it. Now he plays esports. He's in the esports leagues for FIFA. And you just, again, look at yourself, work it out. What makes you happy? Right. How can I, A, scale this if I want to make it a business? B, I want to be happier in life. Not the biggest fan of my job, but it is what it is, so I'll stay. And if you're happy like that, then how can I, B, enjoy it more, or see a bit of both? Like, I still love training. I train 5 times a week with my dad, and I absolutely love it. But I also love PTing people, and that's exactly what I did with that, because I fell in love with it first, and I thought, right, how can I, A, operationalise it, make it a living, and B, how can I still enjoy it?
No, that's incredible. And also, just for listeners, just to say, this applies to
It's
older people too.
Everyone.
Like it's never too late. I mean, you reference your dad, and for transparency, I know his dad, and we're good friends. But he's completely transformed. So this is
not even a year.
Yeah, I mean,
Not even a year.
completely transformed. So, but not just in terms of the physical thing. I think in terms of like, if you wanted to change career, you wanted to do something new, you wanted to explore a new skill or whatever. You DJ. It might be that a 45-year-old decides wants to go into DJ. It's possible,
Well,
right?
an old dog can learn new tricks.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. And there's a term Andrew Huberman uses quite a lot called neuroplasticity, and that's basically just your brain can change. Your brain's like Play-Doh. It can change straight away. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for it to bed in almost. But if you want to make a change, I mean, I've got a client, bless her, she had a heart attack at 71 and she's now 78, 4 stone lighter and deadlifting 9 kilos. She's crazy. Yeah. She's crazy strong. And this has all come from her going, you know what? Maybe I am a bit of an old dog, but maybe I can learn new tricks.
Yeah.
And if my brain can change. People just get so absorbed into rhythms and structures. They've been working the same job, 9 till 5 or 8 till 4, whatever it is, for so many years.
Yeah.
People get so comfy in it's almost like there's a term called inner citadel, where you live in your inner city almost. You don't do anything outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And people get so stuck in with this. And I realised this at a very early age, and luckily managed to break out of it. And then hopefully I'll never get in there again.
Yeah.
But we all have our own comfort zones.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I've got my comfort zone's the gym. Yours is I couldn't do this. I couldn't interview people.
Yeah.
This is your comfort zone. But you step out of it by doing other things.
Yeah. No, it's a really good
And
message.
anyone can do this. Absolutely anyone, no matter where you are on the planet listening.
Yeah.
This can happen anywhere.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's really inspirational. A really good message. I think your journey's just been so impressive. It really has. I wish you continued success because I'm sure it'll continue
nice to
to
hear.
fly.
Thank you.
You're doing amazing stuff.
And you. I mean, look at this. Do you know what I mean? Just look at this. It's class. It's amazing.
It's a lot of sitting in this though, right? A lot of sitting. So I have to work extra hard at the gym to make up for like sitting.
Yeah.
It's
Not getting steps.
It's like couch
not getting the
potatoing.
steps in. It's nice and enjoyable. Sat down.
Yeah. You can get too comfortable, No, listen, Oscar, it's been really interesting. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. If people want to reach out to you and find out what you're doing, there's so many things. Obviously, your PT work, but you do all this meal prep work, which looks amazing. I've seen all the photos. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
And the whole ecosystem around health, well-being and stuff. Where do they come?
So the company, if you can see, it's Sowden, but all on Instagram, I'm usually Oscar Sowden or Sowden Hull across all platforms. I've got a website, sowdenhull.co.uk.
Yeah.
I just go by Sowden, and everything's all verified, so you can always tell it's me. I've tried my best recently with getting my name at the top of things because there's a couple of different companies with the name Sowden in.
Yeah.
But you know what? I need to be there.
Yeah.
I've done everything I can, and that's a story for another time. But I can go into how I've done that. And yeah, I seem to try my best to be at the top of everything. So if you do want to have a look, I'm usually there.
Yeah. So Oscar Sowden on Instagram. And what was the website?
Sowdenhull.co.uk.
Sowdenhull.co.uk. Go check him out. Look at his journey. It's just impressive to watch. And if you want a little bit of inspiration of how you can actually change your life and do something positive, it's there in the flesh. And it's all documented.
Yeah. And you don't have to pay. This is what people always think, PT, they're all out for money. Nah. I've got resources on my Instagram and my website and everything that are just free. I mean, I've had one guy email me the other day. He said, "Oh, thank you. I've lost 6 stone because of you." And this is the first time I've heard of him. It really annoys me that all this stuff's behind a paywall, because it was all behind a paywall when I wanted it, and I had to go around the houses to find out information that if I'd just give someone £100 that I didn't have for, I would have had it.
Yeah. No, it's incredible story. I wish you success. Thank you so much for coming on. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.